Got me a new mic. Feel like Oprah Winfrey. You feel me, on a late night show. But today we're still gonna go live. Which one would you rather deal with? Would you rather deal with a manager that is like hovering you, a micromanager, or would you rather deal with a lazy coworker? Welcome to Petty Hour. My name is Natalie. You know, we're gonna get right into it. Let me give you a little synopsis about me. So my name's Natalie. I go live every Monday, every Wednesday. Wednesdays we do call-ins, but if you go back and look at this live, you see there's another live in front of it, and it's because my stuff messed up, boy. My stuff kept glitching and I need an update, and I don't have the time to wait on it. So you know, we're gonna get right into it. I'm gonna tell you, yeah, I'm back, Brian. Bruh, I don't know, my computer just kept glitching and needs an update, and it's like you got 45 hours and I don't have time to wait on it. So no call-ins today. I'm sorry. I'll try to make it work tomorrow. But so we're going to talk about which one would you rather deal with. Would you rather deal with a micromanager, or would you rather deal with a lazy coworker? Let me get into, my little background. My name's Natalie. I go live every Monday, every Wednesday, every Monday. Well, today's Wednesday, and we still don't have call-ins available. So flood the chat. Let me know which one you rather deal with. Where am I from? What do I do? My name is Natalie. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. You guys probably don't know where that is, but that's where the Kentucky Derby is. That's where Muhammad Ali's from. Jack Harlow's from there. Bryson Tiller, a lot of people. So Petty Hour, it's just, real life topics where we discuss situations of real life topics. So like I said, lazy coworker or micromanager. I'm gonna give you a story of both, and then at the end, I'm gonna let you know which one you rather deal with. Brian said I'd rather deal with a lazy coworker. I deal with lazy coworker. I feel you on that. So I say that because those who know my background, those who looked at the display picture, that's me when I worked at McDonald's. I worked at McDonald's for 12 years, bro. And they have something, I want to say it's called a FOB, when they would bring in all of the main big league managers. Super stressful day, bruh. During this time, they would make sure the store was immaculate, clean, and it was super high level stress, bruh. And so that's when the micromanager comes in. I remember, I became a manager when I was like 19, right? So it was extremely stressful. I remember they came to me, my managers, and they were like, Natalie, basically, you good at everything. We're going to put you in the kitchen. I was like, bruh, I'm going to be real. I never worked the kitchen. I'm going to be real with you. I don't know what I'm doing if you put me in this kitchen, especially with these big bosses. I'm letting you know, you setting yourself up. They were like, go, you're good in the drive-thru, blah, blah, blah. I went in there. I was not in there for 10 seconds. And I'm just making a cheeseburger, bruh. And I took the tongs and I grabbed the meat. I eat cheeseburgers, right? Can't mess this up. I messed it up. Swear to you. I picked up the tongue. I picked up the meat. And the big leads weren't even in there. It was just my regular store manager. But you got to think, she's stressed, it's going to make you stressed. Boy, I dropped the meat on the floor. And it was like when I dropped the meat on the floor, it slowed down, right? And my mind's like, don't pick it up, right? Don't pick it up. Why I picked that meat up and put it back on the bread? I didn't know what I was doing, bro. I was so stressed out from these people. My manager looked at me and said, Natalie, get out of this kitchen. And I said, I tried to tell you. And just to put it in a factor of how stressful it is, they would go through the drive-thru, from the time you would pay to the time you went to the second window, and they would have a stopwatch, these big leagues, and they would just time everything. If someone walked up to the counter and someone placed their order, they would time that. So, bruh, I don't know. I could have got fired, but like I said, I didn't feel comfortable being in the kitchen for them to tell me to be in the kitchen. Guys, let me look at this chat. Guys, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. If you're new here, Brian said, I'd rather deal with lazy coworkers, and that's what I'm going to go into, Brian. I would definitely rather deal with a lazy coworker than to have a manager breathing down my neck. It looks like Fasama. Hello. Hope I said your name, bro. I'm sorry. I'm really trying. On top said I had a high level stress this weekend, shaking my head. I work security for the strip in Las Vegas. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, bro. I know what it's like, bro, to be dealing with that stress. Like, I've always had a position where, I mean, excluding these 5 years at Amazon when I've been, like, I don't know, like, I've always had manager roles. So definitely understand what you're talking about. Brian said it's not good to be known everything. It's not good to be known, to know everything. They're ready to get rid of you. I agree with that. Yeah, Brian, I dropped that meat on the floor and I was like, bruh, shake it like a salt shaker. Hey, girl. Hey, what would you like to ask me? But then while you're asking that question, shake it like a salt shaker, I'm going to go into like the lazy coworker. Like, I've never had an issue working hard, like, especially with my, I want to say my career at McDonald's, bro. I would get so used to working with lazy people that I would just tell them to clock out. I'm not doing it. And so I'll tell you this to tell you that when I worked at a different McDonald's, because I worked at like 4 different stores, it was Thanksgiving. And nobody want to work on Thanksgiving, especially me. Girl in the window, and I guess she wanted to go home. But like, also, since it is a holiday, you're going to work with not so many crew people. Shake it like a salt shaker. Hopefully you're calculating your thoughts of the question in the comment section. But anywho, I tell you that to tell you this. This girl wanted to go home, and realistically, I couldn't afford to send her home, because if I would have sent her home, I would have been doing the drive-through, and I would have been doing the front counter. And who want to do all that? Realistically, I don't want to do all that. But if I do all that, I'm going to do all that. Fast forward skirt. Anywho, she's in the drive-through, and she's just like, I don't feel like being here. Makes this noise like every time she handed out the food in the drive-through. She would make that noise like she's going to do that. And I'm just like, bro, ain't no way. So after, the 3 or 4 people, obviously my job as a manager is I don't ever want to complain. Now, that's me as a manager. I can't speak on other managers. But I think that when you get complaints, it makes you look bad as a manager. And I don't like to take responsibility for someone else's actions. Like, so realistically, if a customer would have came up to me and said, this lady is making this noise in the drive-thru, I feel like reasonably I cannot give an explanation for that, if that makes any sense. Anyway, she did it 3 or 4 cars. She ran off to the bathroom at one point. I just said, just go home. And I was always quick. Back in the day, I was more savage mode. I didn't calm down a little bit, but I was so quick to just say, clock out. Go home. Clock out, go home. I would say it so fast. I remember this guy came back from break and he didn't have the right shoes on, and he was already like not the best worker. Clock out, go home. That's what I would say to people. Susan, how you doing? Hope you're doing okay. Hope you and the baby are doing well. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Today's topic is, would you rather work with a lazy coworker or work with a micromanager? So those who are not hooked to the lingo, what is a micromanager? A micromanager is somebody who hovers over you, watches your every move, step by step, GPS, turn by turn. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be on you like white on rice. So which one would you guys rather deal with? Let me know in the comment section below. I apologize. I went live, but y'all see it. Y'all see it because it's still here. I didn't delete it. My computer just kept glitching. It needs an update. Actually, I'm right here looking at it right now. So it's updating. I said, let me get on here and go live. Guys, don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe, because I know y'all don't have me on here just talking to myself, talking about my experiences dealing with a micromanager and dealing with a lazy coworker. But I'd rather deal with a lazy ultimately. I just don't like people on me to the point where they're going to tell me every single thing, or they're going to, you know what I'm saying, make a checklist on everything I do. I'd rather deal with, I'm trying to see if I can pop this up on, yes, on the computer. Anna in the building, hands to the ceiling. When I'm sitting with Anna, I'm really sitting with Anna, and ain't no punchline or metaphor. I'm really sitting with Anna. Anna in the live, hands up to the sky. Both suck, says Susan. But if I choose lazy coworkers, because I don't need no more hanging over my shoulder. Exactly. I don't like people hanging over my shoulder either. I think that's why I got eyeliner on my finger. I think that's why a lot of people do gig work, like DoorDash and everything of that nature, Uber, so they don't have someone dealing, like, hanging over. Like, that's just the worst feeling to me. And even like sometimes, you know, sometimes you get those coworkers that think they're a manager. Like, I almost checked one the other day because they were training me on something new. I don't like this, bruh. I don't know if it's just me, but she's teaching me how to do this job I've never done. And it's like the screen, the login screen looks like a regular login screen, right? But it's like, I know how to get to the new screen that I'm training in, but like, obviously my mind's not going to be like, go. You feel what I'm saying? So while I'm trying to select it, my finger's going like, you feel me? Like, my finger's trying to find, it's right there. Like, Brett, do you really got to do all that? Like, let me breathe. Like, you are not my boss, man. You are not my boss. But definitely I'd rather deal with a lazy coworker than deal with a micromanager any day after week. Guys, if you have a story, my apologies, I can't take call-ins today, but flood the chat and let me know which one would you rather deal with, or if you have a story talking about one you would rather deal with. I am going to try to go live on my computer tomorrow because I got my new Oprah mic, and I wanted to, you feel me? I wanted to go live with it, but my computer need to upgrade. But guys, let me know in the comments section below. I'm not really sure how long I'll be on here. I do have another story that happened to me last night. Usually I just make a short or whatever about it. Let me know how you guys feel about this. Speaking of micromanager, bro, this story just falls into place. I'm at work last night. I feel like I usually am. And there's a learning ambassador or a trainer. Those who are not used to like the Amazon lingo. It's a trainer. Bruh comes up to me like, your wall shuts down, your wall turns back on. We have like high demand times when your wall is going to be active, but after you get out all these items, your wall may shut down temporarily, right? So a trainer ambassador comes up to me, and I'm all about the way you say things to me, right? You'll get a good Natalie if you don't come up to me aggressive. Bruh comes up to me and he says, your wall's shutting down, fill up the area with bags. So I'm thinking, what? I'm thinking, what? And so I'm over here thinking, and I looked at him and I said, yeah, I don't think I would have said it like that. I think if I'm telling him the way I'm telling you guys is the way I'm telling him. Guys, if you're new here, make sure you hit the like button. We're in an open discussion. Would you rather deal with a lazy coworker, or would you rather deal with a, I can't even think of the word now, bro. Y'all need to bear with me. A boss that's hovering over your shoulders, right? Like a helicopter boss. Anyway, so I'm telling him like I'm telling you guys. He comes up to me. He says, your wall shutting down, you know, same tone, your wall shutting down. And when it shuts down, fill your station up with bags. So I have headphones in, and I'm like, I want to make sure, you know, I hear him right. You feel me? Take him out. And I looked at him and I said, what? And he said, yeah, fill your station up with bags. Keep in mind, he's a trainer, right? Keep that in mind. I don't know if I even would have went off on him if he was a regular person. So I looked at him, take my earbuds off, and I said, yeah, I don't think I would have said it like that. I think I would have said, hey, how are you? Your station is about to shut down. Now it's time to fill your, do you mind getting some bags to fill up your station while you're waiting on your wall to open up? You know, just some kind of respect. And I think what really like caused me to like say that to him is that I've heard him talk to people in that same kind of tone before. Like the belt's shut down. I've seen him walk by and tell people, not me specifically, but I think I've seen him walk by and tell people, stop throwing items on the belt's off. And just kept walking. And I just think that's disrespectful. And like, I can understand if this is like a kid. This is like a 40-year-old man. And then also factor in that he's a trainer. What does that mean, bro? He's responsible for, I would think, treating people with respect. So anyway, I told him that. And then lipstick in the building, hands up to the ceiling. How are you doing? How are you doing? So when I told him that, you know, I said, bro, I don't think I would have said it that way. And then he stopped and he said, I feel you. And I said, no, I don't think we both are understanding where I'm coming from. He said, no. I think you're saying, are you good?
I'm gonna go get my backpack out the car.
Okay. He's like, I think you're saying that, you know, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't speak to people that way, but that's how he is. And like, when I tell my husband stuff like this, then I say, bro, he don't really care at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? He don't care how he talks to people at the end of the day, because like, it's going to take more than me going off on him, right? That's what I'm trying to say. It's going to take for me more than just me going off on him. And I can't speak on the other people that he's, you know, talked to people like this for. But I can only say that, you got the key to go outside to the car?
Where is it?
Hold on, guys, 1 second. I can only speak on me. And so moving forward, I guess he might double check or maybe he'll reword how he speaks to me in the future. But I don't think a vest, I don't think a title, I don't think any of these things can make you talk to people any kind of way. Guys, let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Let me know if you would rather work with a coworker that is lazy or a micromanaging boss. My apologies for not going live today. Like I said, my computer is updating, so I don't do call-ins today, but you guys can definitely flood the chat. But yeah, I wound up going off on bruh. I didn't go off on him like 10 years ago. He would have got a whole different Natalie. He would have got, you ain't gonna talk to me like this. But now, me being older, I'm gonna orchestrate my words. I'm gonna lay it out. You feel me? I've been observing how you've been talking to people. I've been observing how you're talking to people, and you're not going to talk to me this way. And if you're trying to get my attention, and I'm not trying to say, you know, butter up to me, you feel me? But I'm saying, like, you need to orchestrate your words like an adult. Don't tell me, man, when you get done doing this, do bags. And that's the thing, guys. Afterwards, after I told him, I said, hey, I've never done bags before. Do you mind not showing me, but do you mind telling me? And he said, oh, I'm just relating a message to you from the manager. And I guess he was in his feelings because I told him that is not how you talk to people, right? And then he's like, I'm just relating the message. You could tell he was aggressive, right? Boom. Then I was like, well, I've never done backs before. Do you mind telling me? He was like, I don't, that's just a message. I said, well, aren't you a trainer? Isn't it your job to be a trainer? Can you not train me? You don't even have to show me physically. Can you not coach me through the process of how to do these bags? He looks at my packer and says, do you know how to do bags? Okay, she's going to teach you. And I guess he don't want to hear it. You feel me? Some people, once you check them, then they know how to act. So Mike said, Mike the GOAT, love that name. Lazy, you rather work with a lazy coworker, but why, Mike? Turk says, I'd rather have a lazy coworker because eventually they will expose and be removed. Exactly. I agree with both of those. I'd rather work with a lazy coworker too, guys. But make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're new here. That's pretty much all I got, man. I realized, like, I've been doing so many stories. I've been doing so many shorts that now it's hard for me to come up with things to say. But yeah, I did check that coworker yesterday. I'd rather work with a lazy coworker than work with a micromanager boss. I've never really had one like hover over me. I had one that was like kind of strict, you know what I'm saying? That didn't want you to do certain things, like come in, shirt tucked in, you know, make sure you look professional. I've had one like that. but I've never had one like, breathing down my throat like that. So, I don't know. I've dealt with lazy coworkers. That's the story of my life, man. I've dealt with and I'm not trying to be sexist. I've dealt with extremely lazy men, and to the point where I feel like I know everybody thinks in a sense that they are a strong worker, but and I think I'm a strong worker, right? But I've dealt with lazy men, and to me, that's just a turnoff to me. A lazy man, and then that will tell me or think, oh, let me get your phone number. It's not going to work for me. It's not going to work for me because I value someone's work ethic, just from having a history of being in management. And if I realize you don't have a strong work ethic, or if I feel like you're lazy, or if I feel like I'm picking up a 16-pound box and you're just looking at me, oh no, it ain't gonna work out. Mentally, I'm already checked out. Nah, I'm not interested in bruh. So if you come over and ask me for my phone number and I realize I'm running circles around you, I'm done. Nah, I'm not interested in you. I'm not interested. That's just me though. You feel me? That's just me. Anna says, I will a lazy coworker because they lay off on you. Yeah. I think they're both struggles, to be real. A micromanaging manager, and it struggles. I've literally, bruh, I've just from my management skills, bruh, I've dealt with a whole lot of lazy co-workers, man. And then just coming from working at McDonald's, working, as a manager on an overnight, shift. And, I had a guy that worked with me that would be in the front window. So he would hand out food. And he always said hey, I don't want to touch the register, which will be the back window. And during this time, the lobby and stuff was locked. And he was just really, I don't know. I don't want to say he was lazy. I just think he was always under the influence. And he made my job extremely difficult, because you got to think on an overnight shift, you're working with limited crew people. So you might have 3 people in the building, hands up to the ceiling. You might have 3 people in the building. So when he would work, he would hand the food out in the window where your food get handed out at, right? Hopefully, you guys, I'm painting this picture for you. And so if I'm in the back drive-through cashing orders out, and then you have somebody in the kitchen, but yet if that front drive-through window is not moving, the whole restaurant stops. You feel me? So I spent a lot of my time cashing orders out, going up front, going back, cashing orders out, going up front, dropping fries, cashing. It's a whole bunch of zigzag. And like I said, I don't want to say that he was lazy. I don't know. I just think his mind was somewhere else. I remember one day I came up to the window bruh, please, I'm thinking this, because you have a lot of responsibilities as an overnight manager. You got to make sure the store is cleaned. You got to make sure that the deposit is done. You got to make sure that you switch over from lunch to breakfast, right? In a reasonable time. You know what I'm saying? So when that first shift manager comes in at 6 o'clock, I don't know what time it is, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you got to make sure the building's clean. And if I'm spending a lot of my time focusing on moving from the back window to the front window to help, to go back and cash out, to that, for one, it's physically draining. You feel me? So I that was just a horrible time for me, man. And you can't, as a manager, you can't be bruh, come on. I'm sure my face is saying move this line. Come, you know what I'm saying? Because you're making it a lot harder for me. But man, I'm sure right there in that little 14-second story, you guys can just tell my mindset has always been on a manager level, but it was physically exhausting. And then he didn't want to touch the register, and I can understand that would be a bigger issue. You feel me? His drawer coming up short, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I say all that to tell you, there were times that I would go up in the front window, bruh is talking to a customer, and he's like, oh, let me give you a little McDonald's cup so you can put wine in it so I can taste it. And I'm like, bruh, you cannot be up here drinking wine in the drive. Move the car is what I'm thinking, if that makes any sense. But guys, that's all I pretty much got for you guys. So it looks like a lot of people basically agreed that they would rather work with a lazy coworker than a micromanaging boss. I am going to try to come up with another topic tomorrow. I don't even know if I can do that. Never mind. I have a dentist appointment tomorrow at 4. So I don't even know if I can go live from the computer tomorrow, but that's all I pretty much got for you guys. I appreciate you guys pulling up for me one time. If you have any last minute topics, side talks, stories, let me know in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys being here. I know a lot of you guys wrote it out with me. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, because like I've been saying, I go live 2 times a week on Mondays and Wednesdays. Each day is a different topic. So let me know what you guys got. But if not, I'm going to dip out on you guys. But I appreciate you guys being here. That's all you guys got. That's all you guys got. I'll give you a few minutes because I know y'all probably texting, y'all probably leaving a message in the comment section. But yeah, it was a horrible experience, bruh. I don't think now me older, I could not deal with a person like that. I mean, not like that, but like I could not be in that work environment. Like I get so tired now. That was in my 20s, so it was my prime. You feel me? I had a whole bunch of energy to go back and forth in the drive-thru. But it's like me now, I don't have that energy to go back and forth, bruh. I would have quit. I would have quit because I don't have that energy to go back and forth. Why is in the drive-thru moving? You feel me? So definitely a learning experience. And you know, like I had a girl, I know I keep saying I'm a dip out. But you know, I always find something to talk about. I had a woman who portrayed herself to be my friend, right? You feel me? Story of my life. Anywho, I told her, you know, these like just these McDonald's stories, right? And I guess she tried to like, you know, we're in front of a group of people. We're at Amazon, like the other 50% of my story times. And we're eating at a lunch table. And I guess she tried to shade me. You feel me? Like, oh, I can never work at I've never worked at McDonald's. And that's the thing, bro. Like, I'm not embarrassed to say that I've worked where I've worked. I feel like McDonald's was the first job that gave me like a managing opportunity. And I took that opportunity and fine-tuned it. You feel me? So like, I feel like not all managers, bruh, because I've worked with some that were not really equipped to be managers at McDonald's. But like, I feel like for me personally, it gave me a lot of skills. You know, it gave me like people skills, right? It gave me the ability to communicate with people, not just coworkers, but with customers, right? It gave me that skill. And that's what I told this lady. Like, you trying to shade me from working at McDonald's, bro? But I feel like it gave me the ability to problem solve quick. Like, you guys, it's a whole different experience to like, you know, be in the office, to know a surprise school bus is coming, 100 kids, 100 orders, you feel me? And you have to think fast to get that order. Like I don't think there's any other place where you can go where you can prepare for that kind of skill. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all spontaneous. Like, where can you work that's spontaneous like that, where you know you have a bus coming with 100 kids and you have to get ready? Nowhere. So when she said that, I was like, bro, I don't know why you trying to act all uppity. Like, I'm not embarrassed that I work there. You feel me? I feel like it's taught me a whole bunch of skills, and it gave me like the pavement of working other jobs where, you know, I can say, oh yeah, I was a manager at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. Some people can't do it. I remember there was a time about that land life in the building, hands to the ceiling. I know it was a time where, and I'm not saying this, let me think of the right way of saying it. The right way of saying it is that a lot of people can't handle Nieve in the building, hands to the ceiling. A lot of people can't handle stress, right? So when I was working at McDonald's, they kept promoting me, right? And so I remember one day I'm in the office and I'm doing, like, I'm hiring people, right? Um, a manager comes in there, and while I'm in the office, man, let me clarify this. When you're in the office and you're hiring people or whatever, that is called a indirect row, right? So they would schedule you off the clock. So if you looked at the schedule, it would say Natalie off at whatever 7, but from 6 to 7, it would show not on floor, not on floor, not on floor. Boom, boom, bam. And I tell you that to tell you that I would be hiring people doing their I-9s, bruh, their W-2 information, and a manager who wasn't really equipped to, I think, handle a bus. It was countless times she would run in the office like, Natalie, I need help because a bus just pulled up. And like, I get it. You need help, but also you need to figure out what it is. Like, I feel like if you're always crying for help and you're not even like attempting to solve the problem. So a lot of the times, I remember one time in particular, she thought it was a bus, and it was a bus, but they wanted ice cream, and it was 10 kids. You feel me? Don't just overly think that it's the worst case scenario, man, without even like attempting to do it. So anyway, she would tell me I need help, and I would say I'm scheduled off the floor, figure it out. And it's not me being nasty, it's me letting you know, bro, like, get your life together. You can't be over here crying wolf all the time. Y'all, it was so many, I don't want to say like bad managers, but to me, that's what I call them, bad managers, because they just didn't have that ability to problem solve. So for that lady to try to shade me and tell me, you worked at McDonald's, like, bro, like, it doesn't, like, it built my character. Like, and I say that to say, before I started working at McDonald's, I was shy. You don't got to believe it. But I was shy at a point, but they kept putting me on the register and I kept order taking. You know what I'm saying? Like that's some kind of communication skill, that one-on-one time you're spending talking to that customer to make sure that their order was right. Like, you can't shade me to make me feel bad because I did work. And that's what I told her. Boom, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. So anyway, I wound up quitting McDonald's. I made a story time about it. Because I had, transferred to a building. Guys, make sure you pull it up because the manager wanted me to steal. The store manager wanted me to steal. Definitely got to run it back. Anna said, have you ever worked from home? No, I have not worked from home, but I thought about it for one time while I'm still at Amazon, but there was a time where I was tired. I'm still tired of working at Amazon, but there was a time that a homegirl's friend put me onto a job that she worked at, and that's the thing. A lot of the jobs that, in my personal opinion, that work from home, a lot of them are scams. But I knew when I met her, the homegirl's friend, she had told me that she had done it, and I was like, oh, there is a legit work from home company, and this company was going to send you a computer and all that, but I wound up not doing it. Because my husband was just like, no, you make more money at Amazon, but realistically, I'd rather do the stay-at-home job. To me, the stay-at-home job was like $18 an hour. But the way I seen it, like, even though Amazon paid me more, me staying at home, I wouldn't have to spend that money on gas. You feel me? I wouldn't have to spend that money on gas to go commuting back and forth. And I think another issue that made me not interested in doing it was that, what was it? They wanted me to do like 12-hour shifts. And I'm like, can't be sitting at home for 12 hours. Like, that's the thing about me too, Anna, is that I don't like to sit down too long, bruh. I'm so like active. If I stay at home, if I sit down for 12 hours, I can't do it. It would drive me crazy. And I say that also to tell you that, like, that's something my dad would tell me. Like, he wanted me to work in a bank. I was like, bro, I can't work in no bank. I cannot sit down for that long. Like, I think it's because, like, I'm naturally, I don't want to say active, but I think also maybe because I have ADHD. And if I sit down for a long period of time, I just feel like, I've had all high-paced jobs, fast food, Amazon. These are jobs that don't require you to sit down. So it will be a dramatic change for me to just say, you know what, I'm going to stay at home. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. I don't know if you peeping your girl, we're really, really close to 5K. And when I get 5K subscribers, I'm going to act brand new. So I need you guys to help get me there. If you haven't liked, if you haven't subscribed. Anna said you didn't do it during COVID. No, during COVID, Amazon was still open. During COVID, Amazon was still open and I was still going into Amazon. I don't know the best way of explaining this, but Amazon gives you something called allowed time, and it's broken up into 3 categories. I'm gonna try my best to explain it because to me, I think I'm really good at communicating to me. So you have unpaid time, which you get a max of 80 hours of time that's not paid, right? Then you have paid time off, which if you leave early, if you're not gonna come in, these are like your scheduled shifts. You can use one of these 3 ultimately. You can be like, hey, I'm scheduled for 10 hours. I'm going to deduct that out of my unpaid time, right? And I tell you all that to tell you the next thing I'm going to tell you, right? Boom, boom, boom. Then we also have vacation. Now, you can use your vacation anytime, but there's times where it's called blacked out periods. And that's like during the busy, like peak season, which is always talked about, blah, 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 blah. But I tell you that to tell you during COVID, it was unlimited, unpaid time, meaning that you could literally, once you run out of unpaid time, you're fired. It's over for you. You get 80 hours, but during COVID, I guess it was because, I'm not going to act like it wasn't a big deal. It was a big deal. But since it was such a big deal, a lot of people were afraid to come to work. So they said, and you got to keep in mind also, school was out. A lot of people have kids. So they gave you unlimited unpaid time. But me, I'm always about, if you don't know your girl Anna, I'm all about my money every day. Give me all of that. So during that time, obviously, clearly, I know you know some of my story. I had to work for one because my husband went to Cuba during COVID and was stuck in Cuba. So I went from a 2-income household to a single income household. And then also they had a benefit of I don't know how they did it. But I'll get into it. But if you worked one day like of overtime, it equaled like 2 days of pay. But I later found out they had a lawsuit because they weren't calculating it the correct way. But I know I was still eating. I was still getting a lot of money if I worked that one day. But so I didn't have that luxury of saying, I wish I could have been like, you know what? It's unlimited unpaid time. I'm going to just stay home and milk it. Like my brother worked at Amazon during that time and he had a good on time not going into work, but also like he lived with my mom. So therefore it didn't really hit him like it would have hit me. If I would have missed one day, it's life or death because I needed all that money. I need to have all my coins together because I went from a 2-income house to a 1-income house. So I needed all my money. So all that time I was having, I don't want to say fun, but I was exploring a lot of options of bringing in more income, including obviously working 60 hours because 60 hours at Amazon during that time, 60 hours work week was making more. So I didn't have the opportunity of staying home. I hope I explained that the correct way. I realize that when I be telling stories, people be like, Natalie, just tell me the answer to the question. So that is the fastest way. That's the fastest way I could have answered it, Anna. But guys, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. I always do this, man. Every live, I'm like, I'm about to go, and then I don't go, but that's why I've never done a stay-at-home job. I feel like I can't, I'm so like active to where I can't sit at home all day. Oh yeah, I got COVID, bruh. It was real bad. Oh, it was real bad. It was bad because that warehouse I was at that time. Shit. See, that's why I couldn't go live, bruh. You see my mic fall? Oh, we good over here though. So it was bad when I got it because, bruh, I don't want to I'm gonna try to explain it the best way I could. It was like a huge warehouse, right? And I remember one day I woke up and I couldn't smell, bruh. I couldn't smell. And I remember it was so crazy because my hairdresser, I was cooking. He came over and he was like, ooh, it smells good in here. I remember this like yesterday, right? Donnie in the live, hands up to the sky. You heard New Jersey in the building, hands up to the ceiling. So he had came in one day. I don't remember exactly what I was cooking, but he came in and was like, ooh, it smells good in here. And I was like, bro, I didn't tell him. I was just like, I can't even smell to determine what what it felt like. But I heard during that time a lot of people had lost their scent forever and their taste forever. So I was blessed that I didn't. But I actually, I was sick a couple weeks ago, Anna. I think I had COVID again because COVID is going around at my building now. But I say that to tell you, I didn't want to go into details, but I was telling my husband this and I was like, bro, this would probably make a good story on YouTube. And my husband loves my stories. He'd be like, Natalie, tell me a story. That's what he'll tell me now. But so during that time, clearly you had to wear the face mask, right? And I remember when they had a vaccine. This building was so big that they were given the vaccines at the building. And if you got the vaccine, you were able to take your mask off. And I wanted to take my mask off so bad because Sarah, send that super chat for your girl because I gave you that idea for that video. I didn't forget. And I wanted to take my mask off so bad because to me, it's a warehouse. They don't have, Amazon don't have air, bruh. So when I was wearing that mask, I see you trying to earn your keep, Sarah. I see you trying to earn your keep. Send a super chat, y'all. Y'all don't know when I posted that post on my story about the live title today, which was, Micromanager. Which one would you prefer, micromanager or a lazy person? Right? Y'all remember, right? Sarah was like, ooh, I like this topic. Thank you. I'm going to make this into a video. And I was like, girl, you better send me some money. You over here taking my idea. You better send me some money. But anyway, guys, I say all to tell you, Ella, I've been on it. I just can't speak on it right now. Oh, okay. I got you. Send the super chat, though. Anyway, Anna, I be talking to y'all like I really know y'all in real life, man. Once my YouTube pops off, I swear to you guys, I'm going to do little events where I'm going to invite 40 people. I don't know where you're at though, probably it's Tampa because everybody want to be in Tampa, right? It's beautiful, it's warm, but I'm going to invite 40 people who be in here showing out because I'm going to be like, oh, look, there's Donnie. Oh, look, that's Sarah. Oh, look, there's Anna. Oh, look, you know what I'm saying? There's Susan. Susan, you're already here, bruh. So you feel me? It ain't going to be that much of a difficult time for you, but that's what I want to do. That's what's in my mind that I want to have you feel me? So get me to the 5K, guys. Make sure you share. Make sure you share this video or share my channel so we can get to the 5K so I can hold these events. But anywho, I wanted to take my mask off, Anna, because Amazon's really hot. They don't have air, bruh. And when I was wearing the mask, bruh, every time I say bruh, someone gets on me. But when I was wearing my mask, my face started to break out so bad because you gotta think you're wearing a mask and they were super strict on it as they should have been. You feel me during that time? But it was causing my face to break out so bad. So when they said which it seemed kind of sus. I'm not going to lie. When they said, hey, we're giving the shots out here, the vaccines here, go in this room, and you'll be able to take your mask off. So during that time, I hope no one gets on me, because y'all know when you start speaking some real stuff, people be like, oh my God, you got the vaccine. But I felt like it was kind of an awkward situation that Amazon will be giving the vaccines. It wasn't Amazon. It was like CVS, Walgreens came. They have like a big interview room because this was like a big facility, and they were giving the vaccines there. Obviously, you know, it was a 2 vaccine type of thing. So I got the first vaccine there. You know, we wear name badges at work. They put a sticker on it to verify that, you know, I had gotten one of the vaccines. But boy, when I got that second vaccine, pulled that mask straight off. You hear me? And my face cleared up. But I also think when I got that vaccine, my face started breaking out again. So, but now I'm good. Long story, huh? But it's crazy to me. I thought about it the other day when I was telling my husband. I was like, bro, you don't think it was weird that Amazon was giving the vaccines? And he was like, what? What do you mean? I was like, they had a room where they gave you the vaccines in order to take your mask off. And I only took it for real. I only took the vaccine because I wanted to take my mask off. My face was breaking out. And like I said, they were writing people up. If you took your mask off, no matter how hot it was, you were getting written up. So that's a long story, isn't it? My bad, y'all. I didn't want it to be that long. But if you guys have anything else for me, let me know in the comment section below. I realized that now when I go live, it'd be like 45 minutes to an hour. So I'm on time. But yeah. Anna, what else you got for your girl? What else y'all got? Make sure you like. Donnie, you probably peeked your head in and dipped out. But that's pretty much all I got for you guys. That's why I got the vaccine. I don't know, boy. I don't know. They say, like, if you get it, weird stuff. I don't know. They say if you get it, weird stuff. I don't know. Because I think I'm always pointing out someone's weird behavior, so I don't really think it's me. You feel me? They act like if you would have gotten the vaccine. I mean, I'm not going to get too philosophical, but they say if you got it, you'd be weird or something. You feel me? There's something else to it, but I'm just not going to talk about it. Where does my husband work? He's a truck driver, and right now he had a late load. Usually he would be here by now, but he's been trucking for a little bit. He took off from trucking after he got back from COVID. He said that because he owns his own truck, right? So it's a lot of maintenance, and he is like a mechanic. So it's a lot of maintenance that goes inside of having your own truck. And then he was leasing out a truck. So he said that it was really stressful for him to focus on loads, because it was like he would focus on loads, but then boom, his driver's truck would break down, or boom, his truck would need maintenance. And I can understand that. So when he got back from Cuba, he wound up selling both of his trucks. It was good. What the story, Susan? I was telling my manager last night about the 2 a.m. guy. I made that video about that 2 a.m. guy that when I went to, God, it's a fly in here. When I went to that truck stop and that guy was staring me down. And I guess now when I tell stories, I set it up like I'm talking like to a YouTube audience. So I was telling her, and I could see her eyes light up. I was telling her like, bro, you ain't gonna believe what happened to me the other day. And she was like looking at me like, what happened? You know, to some people, to me as well, my life is so interesting because there's always something going on, right? I didn't tell her that, but she's aware that something's always going on. And I'm like, you won't believe that. You know, I went to this truck stop the other day, and I'm like, I'm editing a video. And she's like, what happened? And she's like, her eyes are like, what? What, Natalie? What? And I was like, I'm editing a video. And I said, I see someone in the peripheral view over here. And she's like, what did he do? I was like, why is he walking and turning around and looking at me and then walking and turning around and looking at me? And I'm like, girl, it's 2 a.m. So I'm thinking, that's weird. And so I was like, I told her, and then y'all already know this story if y'all have seen the short, but those who have not, let me give you a freebie on the house, right? And so I said to her, if he gets inside, this truck stop and looks back at me, I'm going to say something. And she was like, oh my God, Natalie, for real, 2 a.m. at a truck stop. Do you know who be at truck stops? But I just said my husband's a truck driver. So I know who be at truck stops. Not saying I know all the people, but I'm aware of the lot lizards and et cetera and et cetera. So anyway, sure enough, when he gets out of the gas station, guys, make sure you subscribe. We're on the road to 5K, right? This is like a really busy, gas station or truck stop. So it's like, and I was like, well, I'm over here. I'm really like getting lost in the sauce of editing another video. So I'm thinking, he probably already came and he left, right? I look up, he comes out and he's looking at me. And I said, bruh, what did I say I was going to do? I said, I was going to say something, right? So I look at him and I'm like, I open my door. I keep the mace on me, guys. Keep that in mind. I keep the mace on me, right? I opened my door and I looked at him and I'm like, straight New York accent. I'm like, are you good? Are you good? And he was like, he comes and he like walks in front of my car and he's just like, he looked like that's what he wanted. He wanted me to ask him this. And he's like, his face lights up and he was like, yeah, I'm good. And I'm like, well, I'm asking because I keep seeing you stare at me. And he was like, well, I thought you were staring back. But like 2 o'clock in the morning, right? 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why I'm saying 5 o'clock. 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm thinking, how can you even see me at 2 o'clock in the morning? It's pitch black. So I tell him like, bro, I'm looking at you like confused. Like when he's looking at me and walking and looking and walking and looking, I'm not looking at him like a smile on my face. I'm looking at him like concerned. Who does this activity at 2 o'clock in the morning? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to process the mental capability of an individual. And I tell him that. I'm like, I'm looking at you like, bruh, what is you doing? Like, no, I'm concerned. And I tell my manager this, right? So she's like, what happened next? And I'm like, I told him, when I said, are you good? He said, yeah. And I told him, people in a mental, swear to God, I said this to him, y'all. And I'm gonna tell y'all why I feel like I do all this now. You feel me? I didn't think about it until like a couple days ago. I was like, why do I act this way, bro? Because everybody else would have just got in their car and took off and blah, blah, blah. But I say that to tell you that I said people in a mental health facility think they're good, right? But we all know what? We all know they're crazy, right? Right. And he looked at me like, this bitch didn't just say that. That's how he looked at me. And he was like, well, I didn't know I'm a truck driver and I didn't know why you were out here. And I said, it's not your job to know why I'm out here, bruh. I could just be sitting here. I guess he thought I was a lot lizard or something. I could just be sitting here. I don't have to give you an explanation of why I'm sitting outside of a truck stop. Realistically, though, I don't, right? So anyway, you feel me? I wound up telling him, it's weird. I'm a woman and you as a man shouldn't be doing that. And then he says, well, I wasn't going to speak to you unless you spoke to me. And I said, look, I'm going to be real with you. 2 things. 1, I like a confident man. If you're waiting on me to approach you, but yet you're tippy-toeing around, looking at me walking, like, come on, man. For 2, I said, I'm happily married, but even if I wasn't married, that is not how you get my attention. The answer still would have been no. You don't just do that. And he was like, well, guys, make sure you subscribe if you're new here on the road to 5K. But I said, that's not how you get my attention. He's like, well, it is 2 o'clock in the morning. I didn't want to just tap on your window. So I said, you would rather I'm trying to really process this, guys. And when he says it, you know, my face speaks before my mouth do. So when he says, I didn't want to come knock on your window because it is 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm looking at him like, I know I am. Like, what? So you rather walk a couple steps. Guys, my ring light, I would love to put my camera on there to show y'all exactly what he's doing, but it's not set up right now. It will fall down. But he was walking, stop, look, right? He would walk a couple steps, stop, look, at 2 o'clock in the morning. No lie. And so when I told my boss that, she was like, Natalie, you know, and I told my husband, he was like, Natalie, why do you do, just leave. And that's the thing. Like, y'all know if y'all been on my channel, but if you haven't, I get it. But a lot of the things I talk about is boundaries, and I'm all about boundaries, bro. I'm always going to stand on business, and I'm not going to allow someone to, I don't want to say bully me, but I'm not going to allow anyone to make me feel uncomfortable when it's like clearly, I'm not saying that I'm always 1,000% right, but I also feel like, Brett, he shouldn't have been doing that. You feel me? And why would I pack my things up and leave? I had been sitting there for a good 30 minutes. I wound up not going back to work, not because of him, but I went over there to get something to eat, and I was like, I'm not going to go to work. I'm tired. But I'm like, I'm sitting here a good 30 minutes. Why would I pack my belongings up and leave because he chooses to be weird? No, I keep the mace on me. You feel me? If he would have came at me or whatever, I would have sprayed him and shut the door and locked it and pulled off. But I say that to tell you, that's why I think I act that way, bruh. And I know I get it. A lot of people would have pulled off. But me, I'm always going to be like, this is weird. You feel me? And I get it. A lot of people can't digest that. But I'm going to tell you that's weird. Just like yesterday I told you, and it seems like I get it. It seems like something's wrong with me and that I'm very, I don't want to say emotional, but it feels like I'm like all the time. But it's like I feel like a lot of people would try to cross my boundaries when I wasn't in a predicament to stand up for myself. And now that I've dealt with so many times of people, this is me outside looking in. Now that I've dealt with so many people crossing my boundaries, that now whenever, I don't care who it is, it could be President Trump, it could be CEO of Amazon, it could be whoever. If I feel like, you feel me, that you're crossing my boundaries and you're being disrespectful, I'm going to say something. Now, it's not going to, and it's not going to be aggressive. You feel me? It's not going to be like, people in the mental asylum think they're good. You feel me? But I felt like he kind of deserved that. And maybe at the end of the day, he might listen to me. I don't know. But he's going to, I believe he's going to think about the next time he decides to do that stupid behavior. I believe. I don't know at the end of the day. Like, he kept trying to prove his point to me, and I listened to him. But ultimately, I told him, bro, no, it's not cool. It's not cool, man. I have daughters, you feel me? If one of my daughters would have texted me like, Mom, this is what happened to me today, I would be upset. You feel me? Like, you don't treat people that way, man. 2 o'clock, it don't really matter what time it is. At the end of the day, like, if you want my attention, don't go by, look at me, walk, tiptoe, go. Come on, man. Let's be for real. And so when he tried to, film me, he was like, well, my name's whatever. He said his name. I was like, bro, I'm not even interested. I'm just letting you know it's rude to do that. And I think it being 2 o'clock in the morning made it very weird, man. And my husband was like, nothing good comes at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I said, bro, I get it. But if you're born with boundaries, you're going to approach a situation different, I think. Like, obviously, you've had some kind of guard up your whole entire life. Me, I had to learn to put it this way. And maybe, like I said, he might learn, he might not learn, but I'm going to make sure he remembers. You feel me? That's all I got for you guys. What you guys think about it? Was I wrong for doing that? Let me know in the comment section below, the chat. I got to get some water. So I'm stepping away from the ring light, guys. I didn't plan on being on here this long. I said, what, 45 minutes to an hour? I'm typically on here. But guys, what do y'all think? Am I wrong for checking, bruh? I should have just pulled off. I should have just pulled off and let him mug me like that. Or come on now. I don't know. That's just how I feel though. Get in the water. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. How did you learn? What, boundaries? I learned boundaries because I realized, yeah, I need to do dishes. So don't say nothing about this cup. When I get off this, when I get off this live, I'm going to definitely do dishes. I learned because, hold on, guys, I'm thirsty. Anna, give me a minute, girl. I'm gonna fill you in. Oh, it's so cold. I learned boundaries, I believe, based off of, like I told you, growing up, I've always been like, I'm not anymore, right? I used to be very shy. And I think when you're very shy, like you don't really speak up, and it makes it, you're susceptible for people running over you, mistreating you, treating you bad. And so, like I don't want to say a lot of bad things happened to me, but I wasn't like mentally, now I feel like I got something wrong with me when I say that. I wasn't like, I couldn't like, I don't know, when you're shy, it's hard for you to speak up on things, right? So I felt like weird things kept happening to me. Clearly, like I told you, this situation with the man and the lady who sat on my lap at Herbalife, I told you at my old Amazon, I had a lady who pretended to be my friend who liked me and wasn't very like she wasn't spoken out. She didn't speak out on it, right? She found her way of projecting. So instead of her just telling me, and I get it, maybe she was in that boat, but instead of her, not that I like women, let me lay that out, right? Hush. Let me lay that out. So she knew I didn't like women, right? So she would say like a whole bunch of, I want to say inappropriate things. She just kept coming up to me like, are you gay? Are you gay? Are you gay? Right? She kept saying all these inappropriate things. And so I think once you go through so many types of different things, it allows you to have boundaries, right? So even like up to the point where I think I told you there was a lady at this new job where I'm at, you start to realize like the lady at, I don't know, bro, I want to say like, it's hard to say it without sounding crazy. I want to say like you realize the similarities between a lot of these people. Like you realize like, hey, this lady at my job now reminds me of the lady at Herbalife. And the lady at Herbalife, when she was sitting on my lap, I told her like to stop. I told her to leave me alone, and she didn't want to listen to it. So then you have to find a different way of saying it. Some people you have to just clock out on. Some people you got to be like, like I told her, your face puts me in a bad mood. And so I think once you go through a lot of these experiences, it makes you able of dealing with boundaries. I think that's the best way to say it, but it's probably, I don't know. I think like, how about this? I think if I did not go through these situations, and I'm 39, right? I would have never known how to do it. Does that make sense? So I think the more you go through, it like molds you on how to deal with boundaries and protection and knowing what you're not going to accept. And like, I get it. Like, even back to that warehouse where the lady kept asking me, are you gay? Are you gay? Are you gay? Ooh, water coming up, y'all. And I had a margarita. That's all I got for you. But I think I knew like, bruh, this is wrong. But I think she like put up a wall to make it seem like she was my friend and we were cool. So like, once you go through it, you're like, okay, this is wrong. But like, obviously every time she would ask me, are you gay? Are you gay? Are you gay? Like it made me more like resentful to her because she wasn't trying to see the bigger picture. But ultimately, Anna, I say all that to tell you, the more you deal with people like that, it allows you to be aware of how you don't want to be treated. Like, I didn't want someone to ask me for 10 hours, bro, are you gay? Are you gay? I didn't want that. So ultimately, I would have to check her. And like now, like I said, I tolerated it at first on multiple reasons. Like, you know, I thought she was my homegirl. I thought whatever. It really don't matter why I would, you know, tolerate it. But ultimately, to say the more you deal with it, you start to draw the line faster. So clearly, if I went to this warehouse I work out now, you know, let's say I go to work tomorrow and someone come up to me like, you know, are you gay? Everybody in the warehouse thinks it, like that lady did. You feel me? I'm not going to allow it to go on as long as it did. You feel me? I'm going to check it immediately because it's like I know how I want to be treated. I'm not going to snap on them. I'm going to say, hey, you know, I don't appreciate you saying that. I'm not, you feel me? But if they start to do it again and like disrespect my boundaries, then we're going to have a different conversation. I hope that answers the question. It's really hard to say how you develop it, but I want to say, to sum it up, what do they say? TDLR, that it might be TDRL. But to sum it up, I think once you deal with behavior that you would not tolerate multiple times, then you learn to draw the line a lot earlier. And to me, that's protecting my boundaries. And I think like people like my husband, who he was like, you know, leave. And I'm not saying he doesn't have boundaries. He does. But I just think our boundaries are different. Like he probably grew up with some sort of initial boundaries, but they weren't crossed like mine. So that's why I think I react how I react. The moment that my boundaries are crossed, I'm going to immediately call it out. You know, I'm going to be like, no, you feel me? Because it's like being bullied. You feel me? In a sense, it's like being bullied in a sense because it's like, you feel me? And then let's say you've been bullied, you overcome a bully, and then the next time someone tries to bully you, what are you going to do? You're going to snap out like, no, you feel me? It's like you internalize the feeling of what it felt like, and therefore you're very outspoken about it. At least that's my situation, my case. I know not all people are like Natalie, but every time I get the opportunity, bruh, if I feel like someone's crossing mine, I'm going to be like, hey, chill out now. Or I'm going to be like, hey, like I said, 10 years ago, 10 years ago, I wouldn't have known how to word it the correct way. I just would have been, like, leave me alone. But now I'm going to be like, I don't appreciate when you came to me and you were acting that way. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm going to be like more strategic with the way I word it. You feel me? So I don't know. That's the best way I can explain it to you, Anna. What else you guys got? Oh, we're going to roll out because y'all see I got to do dishes. But I appreciate you guys rolling up on me. I was going to try to go live tomorrow, but I have a dentist appointment at like 4. I don't see how it could work out. Unless I went live early. I don't know. But I don't see it working out. But I do have a video coming out. I did have a short that came out today, guys. So make sure you check it out. If you haven't liked, do me a favor and like. And if you're still here and you haven't subscribed, subscribe one time because we're on the road to 5K. I'll let your fingers get a little warmed up. If you have any last minute talks, discussions, I'm gonna drink this water and let me know what you guys think in the comment section and I can answer it. I got a little bit of time because my husband had late night tonight, but I still got to do dishes and figure out what's going on with this computer, guys, because I came on here try to show you my pink mic and it was a disaster. But hopefully I plan on, maybe I'll go live on the weekend or something. But yeah, I'm always going to stand on business. I'm not going to ever allow anybody to disrespect me. Same thing for my kids. I'm not going to allow anybody to disrespect me, disrespect my kids. I did a story about it not too long ago. My youngest daughter was working at a restaurant. Oldest daughter. What am I talking about? My youngest daughter, y'all. Woo. Anyway, the manager was being disrespectful to her. She would tell me, you feel me? I guess, I don't know what she thought, the manager. I guess, y'all know I have that managerial background in fast food management, right? Right. So my daughter was saying, and it reminds me of me because my daughter, she's really shy. So I used to be that way. And she would just say like negative things to my daughter. And I didn't really, you feel me? I peeped it, but I didn't want to like be super mama bear. So I remember one day they were closing down. They were closing up down the restaurant for the night. I'm not saying it the correct way. Anywho, they have cookies, right? And these cookies expire. If the cookies expire on that day, they give it away to the crew members, right? So, I mean, yeah, I went in to make it known, you feel me, that I know how you're treating my daughter, but I never like vocally said anything. So anyway, when we went in, I sat down, they were closing, and the manager told my daughter, my daughter came to me like, these are the cookies they're giving me tonight. Boom, boom. She gave me 2 packets. And I heard the manager pull her in the kitchen like, and she has, and I'm not even trying to be rude, she has this like really whiny, raspy voice, right? I heard her saying like, what is your mom doing out there with 2 packs of cookies? And that made me feel as though she was trying to say, I stole these cookies or something. Who in their right mind? Bruh, like this is my first time ever inside of this building. You think I'm gonna come in here and sit down and steal some expired cookies? We let it slide, right? So I gave my daughter the cookies. Boom, fast forward. My daughter had put her 2-week notice in, and it felt like how she was telling me, it felt like, you know, let me lay this out too. This is an important fact, that my daughter was only working like 2 days a week, right? 3 hours a day, right? Nothing. And like I was like on the weekend, my off days, and y'all know how my schedule be. My schedule was always full maximum capacity, and like I was sacrificing, and I get it. I was sacrificing like going to the beach because you know I'm in Tampa. I was sacrificing my weekends. I couldn't go to the beach because the beach is like an hour away, and then come back and pick my daughter up because even those 3 hours that she was working on the weekends, a lot of the times she was being sent home early. So anyway, I tell you all that to tell you this. Fast forward, my daughter had, you know, built up the background of this manager. So I had an idea what she was like. And I also had that idea that the lady thought I was stealing cookies or whatever she thought. I didn't check her that day. So my daughter needed her hair done. And I'm not saying it was right for her to put that bonnet. She went to work in a bonnet her last day. 3 hours, and she was waiting to get her hair done. And when she went in the bonnet, my youngest daughter wanted to eat at this restaurant too. It's Bob Evans. I don't know if y'all know what that is, if y'all have one. But anyway, so I dropped my 2 kids off because my youngest daughter was like, I want to order food from here. And then there was like a gas station, and I'm like, let me go get me a little energy drink, and I'm gonna come back and pick y'all up. Boom, I'm in the line about to cash out. I get a phone call. My oldest daughter's like, she's saying I can't work today because of this bonnet. But I had already told her like on the way there, because she was like, I think this manager is gonna make it a big deal that I have this bonnet on. And I said, bro, it's your last day. It's 3 hours. You already have a job. Like if she tells you can't wear that bonnet, just leave. Especially everything you done built up to me. Fast forward, boom. I say all that to tell you this. I pulled up, already adrenaline on 10,000. I'm mad. And I'm mad because when my daughter called me, she told me, my youngest daughter, they're the bonnet twins, bruh. They both went in with bonnets. And the manager told my youngest daughter, who doesn't even work there, if your sister has to take her bonnet off, you got to take yours off too. And I'm thinking, What? I remember I parked the car. I didn't even park. You feel me? I didn't even park straight. Came out the car. All the windows were rolled down. My kids are already outside. And they're like, okay, let's go. I quit. I was like, no, bruh. I'm going to check her. I'm going to check her. You know, I've been waiting for this. I've been itching for this day. I go inside. I asked to speak to the manager, right? The manager, she comes up to me, like I said, raspy voice, like that. And I tell her, I understand from one fast food manager to the next, it's unprofessional for her to have this bonnet on, but it's her last day. She only works 3 hours. But what I'm not understanding is, why did you tell my youngest daughter to take off her bonnet? My daughter was prepared. My youngest daughter was prepared to use her own money to order food from this restaurant, and now she doesn't even want to order from here. I didn't tell your daughter that. So she lying. Why would my youngest daughter lie about this bonnet, bruh? Fast forward. I said, look, my daughter's done told me all of the things you done said. Like, when my daughter gets her hair done, this manager's done even told her, like, do you wear a wig? Is that a wig? Let me touch your hair. All this unprofessional things. And I told her that. Why would you say that stuff, man? Like, that is so unprofessional. I told her you accused me of stealing cookies. Like, all of the things that you have said to my daughter. If I was you, I would be ashamed, because now this girl is, I don't want to say she's scared to work at a restaurant, but you know what I'm saying? Your negative impact on her as a manager has put a nasty taste in her mouth, to now she's aspiring to have her own business because she doesn't want to deal with people like you. And the only thing this manager could say to me was, yeah, man, yeah. And I said, look, this was her first job, bruh. This was my daughter's first job. And look how you make her feel about being here. She didn't even want to come in here because of you, because my daughter was always working this manager's shift. She didn't even want to be here. She knew that, oh my God, here comes Friday. I'm only working, weekends, 3 hours. I know I'm going to work with blah, blah, blah. And the wait, like, come on. I said, from working at McDonald's, from me being a manager at McDonald's, like, bro, you don't want people to feel like that. I said, if anything, when you leave this restaurant, you need to go look in the mirror and ask yourself, why is it that I'm losing crew people? Because my daughter had told me, my oldest daughter, that one of her friends quit before she got this job because of the same specific manager, bro. You have people quitting just because of you. And you know the saying, like, people don't quit jobs, they quit bosses. And you're having people quit. She didn't know what to say. And that's the thing with me. I'm going to say some stuff that makes you think about your whole entire life, bruh. Whatever I say when I go off, you're going to think about your whole entire life. Like, that was wrong. That's all I got for you guys for today, man. I feel like I didn't talk y'all's head off. I appreciate y'all listening. The Real Diva in the chat, moderator in the building. How are you and the baby doing? Real Diva, I know you didn't smash the like button. You didn't miss out on a whole lot of tea today. I've been on here for 78 minutes. I think it's like a new record. That one time I went live for like 7 hours though. Yes, I'm glad you are doing good. I appreciate you pulling up for me last time too, bruh. You were ready. You were ready to take somebody out. She's like, how dare someone come in here and ask, send the link. You remember the Real Diva? Send the link. Yes, this one was pretty lit. This live was pretty lit. We just talked about, I'll give you a quick, cliff notes of the live. We talked about, would you rather work with a lazy coworker or a micromanager? We talked about Amazon during COVID. We talked about Amazon giving COVID shots at Amazon during COVID. We talked about the time I checked my daughter's manager for asking her if she wore wigs. We talked about one more thing, bruh. It was just right there on the tip of my tongue. Oh, that short that I posted about me going to the gas station at 2 a.m. and a regular dude just walking by and double taking. I made a short about it. You probably checked it out. but me checking him, and we talked about why I have boundaries and why do I check people the way I do. And we also talked about, then I think that's it, guys. If I'm missing something, let the real diva know. We talked about me last night at work, a trainer, a learning trainer, coming up to me, telling me in a certain tone, like, hey, when you get done, when your wall closed down, stack bags up. And the way he said it and how I reacted. So yeah, if you rewatch the live, you'll see all of that. Appreciate you being here, guys. Guys, if y'all don't have anything else, Real Diva, we were talking about too, the more I grow, how eventually I'm gonna have like an event and invite like 40 people to Tampa, and we eat and we just chop it up. We talked about all that. So very engaging today, boy. But guys, y'all have anything else who's in here? Let me know. And also, if you have anything else, drop it real fast one time for your girl. I'm gonna hop off because I feel like I've outdone my welcome. I done talked all day. So let me know who's in here. Let me know if you have any more notes to add to the live. But I appreciate you guys being here. I posted a short today. Every time I like think about the short in the video, the Real Diva, are you still here? I have a question for you. I love you too, Anna. Real Diva, if you're still in here, let me know because I have a question for you. All right, look. I don't know what you look like, right? I don't know what nobody look like. I'm gonna be real. But my next video, I'm thinking about talking about. Let me know how you feel about it. It's deep. The idea of you hitting me at Amazon, bro. Do you think... do you think... All right, I'm gonna say this. I feel like women already have it hard, right? Right. All women can agree with that. But do you feel like a woman that's thick has it harder than a woman who is not thick? Yes or no? I don't know if you're thick or not. You feel me? I'm just talking from my perspective. I'm a thick woman. I think thick women, okay, yes and no. But that's my next video. That's my next video idea. I mean, I have a video that's going to come out soon, but that's going to be, I think thicker women have it harder, in my opinion. I don't know, though. I'm just trying to see from a woman because, you know, I don't really talk to too many women at my job. So I feel like they do. But if y'all don't have anything else for me, I'm going to dip out. For real this time. I know I've done said it 15 times, but I'm for real going to dip out. If y'all don't have anything else. Y'all keep in mind the ebook out. I feel like I listened to Nicki Minaj's Bigfoot today. And again, I love Nicki Minaj. And at the end of it, when she started talking, I feel like that's what I sounded like. When she was like, you know, when she started talking on the track. But guys, if that's all you guys got for me, do me a favor. Don't forget to like if you haven't. Don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate you guys pulling up for me. I love you. I have a short, I think, coming out again tomorrow. But I appreciate you guys being here. Video coming out at the end of the week. Don't forget, if you need more Natalie in your life, there is an exclusive members where there's, I think it's $2, $3, where there's a whole vault of other videos that I don't share to YouTube. It's only like the exclusives is what I call it, the exclusives. So make sure it's there. Check it out. And y'all already know I have ebooks on how to be more confident. And that I have boundary courses. Like Anna, I know you were asking me, how did I get so well at establishing boundaries? And like I said, it's based off of, boundary courses are not an ebook. It's a one-on-one call. We lay out what the issues are, what the person's like, and how to establish boundaries, especially with that individual. But if you guys don't have anything else, I love you. I miss you, and I can't wait to see y'all in the next video. Guys, I usually go like this and end it, but I don't have my ring light.